first and 10. They start the drive with Cook. A spin, and he's got room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 33 and a first.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. On first and 10, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Lions have recovered. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
A first carry for Amir Abdullah. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Set, 260.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. Trying to lay one up deep. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Set, 180.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Let's go.
On the carry, it's Cook. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, Cousins. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. And he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line. The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Stafford gives to Abdullah. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's Stafford now on second down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you can kind of get it back even with just one throw.
They'll run here. Abdullah. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's first and goal. They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
They run. Abdullah. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They'll run for it. This is Abdullah. Shedding through the defense. Give him a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal.
Partner, it's decision time now. I know it's still just the second quarter, but you have an opportunity to either kick the field goal or go for it and try and score a big-time touchdown. This is why the head coaches get paid the big bucks.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Second down, Cousins. And he's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, Cook. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. No gain, and it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's second and 10. To throw, Cousins. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Morgan. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard. You probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Sean Robinson getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. From the gun, here's Cousins. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Third and long for Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Two minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They look to reverse that trend on second and goal. On play action, Cousins. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Kerry Hyder able to drop him for a loss of 4.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know, is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Able to get there and pick it. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And they begin the drive with Abdullah. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. George Iloka, the one that comes up to make the tackle.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Big 20. Hey, go down. Set. Lady. Mike 5-4.
On second down, here's Stafford. He'll hit his running back, Amir Abdullah. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
Set. 180. Right there. 54. Right there.
Now a play fake here on first down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Following the interception, Cousins. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Yellow, race in there. Yellow.
Cousins. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Set. 180. 11.
After the interception, here's Stafford. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Give him 30 yards there. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. And this one to Treadwell, complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Throwing is Cousins. Over the middle, complete. It's Morgan. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Cousins now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now Cousins. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Cousins now on 2nd down. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Daniel Carlson now for the Viking field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Carlson is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
On the return, here comes Amir Abdullah. And they'll have excellent field position to begin this drive as he's all the way up to midfield at the 50.
That strong return has set them up nicely for this drive, and we all know the next score is going to have a major impact on this game.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the 50, Stafford. He's going to wind up and air it out. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Cousins forced out to his left. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. On the return, it's Tate. Terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. So out now come the Lions. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Set. Blue 80.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that's complete to Luke Wilson. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. Throwing right, and that's complete. And down inside the 15 he goes. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
On 1st down, Abdullah. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stafford, that's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Set. 180. Double, double.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Following the penalty, Abdullah, and able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Only a yard on the pickup there, 2nd and goal.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They come out here in the eye. On the sneak, it's Stafford. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Matthew Stafford taking it in. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he missed it. No good. And they'll remain down by a point. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now out comes Minnesota. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
Two.
On 2nd down, Cousins again. Being chased out left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Cousins now. And he finds Cook. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. On the ground, it's Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. To throw, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys always taught, find the first down sticks and make the play. Well, on defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the first down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And Detroit getting set to go now. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at the 20.
Set, lady.
From the gun, here's Stafford. He goes underneath to Abdullah and able to get this across. The 20 before going out of bounds. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. They're able to locate Wilson. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Stafford to the former Seahawk Wilson for Lions first. Stafford now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now Stafford hands to Abdullah. And some room to maneuver. Amir Abdullah. Touchdown, Detroit. Amir Abdullah, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now out comes Minnesota. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. He's back to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Third and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both, because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback. And
a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. Now a give. This is Abdullah. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Throwing here, Stafford. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? But the biggest thing is making sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
We're going. Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ezekiel Ansah in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
One.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Tight coverage that time by Miles Killebrew. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
A handoff to Abdullah. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, and what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. Again, it's Abdullah. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only a 1-yard gain, but good enough to just about finish this one off.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Charles, in this one, I think the storyline really, the 4th quarter, coming into it neck and neck, but they were able to separate, put their foot on the gas, and get the win.
And since you mentioned neck and neck, I'm going to stay with a little bit of a horse racing theme. It was that close, and then really went into the gallop and finished it strong.
One more horse racing theme.
Go.
I am glad you posted today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So for Detroit, their hopes of a 500 season stay alive as they move to 7-8 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, well, this loss means they'll have one more shot to avoid the dreaded 0-16. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.